guys, Mike from Han Cycles. Just wanted to share with you another sales video update for the last 30 days. This is from mid-July till about mid-August. Today's August 22nd. So I was going to start to try to put out more of these videos based on your feedback. So let me know what you think at the end. So if you watched last month, I talked about the Keen Big Eyes greeting cards that have like a painting from Margaret Keen from back in the 60s, and these were real popular back then. And with the movie recently this last year, Big Eyes starring Amy Adams, these became popular. So these are kind of my bread and butter, and I sell quite a few of these throughout the year. But lately, since the movie's been out and then the video's been out, it's kind of like waned off a little bit. So anyways, here's one of them. And if you watch my previous video as well, I picked up a pair of taillights at a Goodwill. These are from a Dodge Magnum, and I just randomly picked them up, and it was kind of funny because when I went to pay for them, they said, "Are you sure these are going to fit your car?" And I thought to myself, what random person is going to go into a Goodwill and happen to have that exact car? So anyways, it was just funny. I picked up a pair of these for $7.50 each. Ended up selling this one, taking an offer for $40, and so that $15 investment turned around and returned $100, because the first one I sold for $60. So I thought that was a pretty good investment in return. Anyways, this pair was in really good shape, and I thought somebody would buy the pair of them, but two different people ended up buying each one, so kind of funny. Next up, I think I showed this in the last video. I had a pair of old Galaxy S2 phones just laying around collecting dust, and found out that smartphones, even old ones, are really popular and they sell. So I ended up having somebody not pay me, and then had to open a case and that type of thing. But just relisted it at a higher price, and it ended up selling again. So it's always great. Here's another Margaret Keen card. This one's super popular because I think it's in like the Museum of Modern Art in New York. There's yet another one. A lot of people either like these or they hate them. Some people think they're kind of creepy just because the eyes are so big. Here's another Keen card. Here's a nice little, got this from an estate sale. I always look in the closet first now, because there's sometimes they either have like really high-end clothing or not, so I try to start there. This was a Patagonia brand. I'm sure a lot of you know that brand's a high-end brand, pretty popular. This one said organic cotton, so I think that means something to somebody. So anyways, had this up for about 2 months and finally sold for full price, $29.95, and they paid shipping, so I was happy with that. Football season's coming, so got this sun hat at a Goodwill. Actually, I think it was a Savers. I paid $6 for this hat. Ended up taking an offer for $24.95. There were a lot of watchers. It's brand new. As you can see from the pictures, they've even had like the cardboard insert inside, so somebody's going to be rocking that at the 49er game. Here is a shirt which was very unusual. It's listed as Indonesian type of shirt. My wife got this at a thrift store, and lately what we've been doing is trying different things. Trying to diversify the things that we can sell on eBay. So I've kind of been experimenting with different clothing, different, as you know, I sell some car parts, those Keen greeting cards, so there's a wide variety of things. This was really interesting to me because it had like a sort of, it looks like a phoenix type pattern. And there were a few people watching this. I ended up taking an offer for $24.95. So, and the person was really happy with it. Next up, these are some like lace stockings. We picked up a box of these. There were like 3 different styles. I think actually 4 different styles, and they had like these intricate like lace and little seashells, as you can see by the close-up. These are early photos that I took when I first started selling on eBay. But as you can see, this particular one, so I've sold 16 of these, and consistently for between $30 and $35 a piece. Free People is, from what I found out, is a boutique brand of women's clothing. I think they might do men's clothing too, but they do clothing and accessories. So the name alone is probably what sold these. And they were all new in the package, so this was a really good find. And I actually have a bunch more, and I'm hoping that they're going to go this next coming up holiday season. Here's a really nice. I always look for Bugatti Uomo. I really like this brand. I've seen it at Nordstrom Rack. The clearance price on these shirts is like $100. I've seen them full price at Nordstrom for like up to $200. This one I picked up at a local Goodwill. I think I paid $6.40 for it. Listed it for $42.95. I took an offer of $39.95. Had it for 2 weeks. And I actually wore it one time just to test it out. So anyways, that was a good pickup. And I actually sold polo shirts and short sleeve button-up shirts in this brand too. Here is a be on the lookout for that I found out from one of my Facebook groups. I'm learning a lot by subscribing to a thrifting Facebook group. You guys should check those out. You really learn a lot. I learn a lot from those. I learn a lot from YouTube videos from other more experienced sellers, and also there's a few podcasts out there that are really popular. But yeah, this is all an experiment for me. I've been selling on eBay for a long time, but never consistently. And this year I've been kind of stepping up my game, and and then the last couple of months really diversifying. So anyways, getting back to these men's Levi's Silver Tab baggy jeans. I thought, gosh, what's the big deal with these things? And anyways, I found these. These looked brand new without tags. I listed them new without tags. Ended up selling them in like the first 2 weeks that I had them listed for full price, $44.95 with shipping. I probably could have got more, and I probably will, try to get more going forward. But this was a test, and the test really produced results. So I was pretty happy with that. There's another Keen card. Not much to say about this. They all have like little themes. This one's called the Runaway. This is kind of one of my more favorite ones, just because of the paint style of the background. Here is a Robert Graham shirt. Doesn't look like much. Usually Robert Graham, you see these really nice wild colors. This was just more of a checked style Robert Graham. Nothing special about it. It had the flip cuffs. But other than that, just very plain for a Robert Graham shirt. But I think what really helped is it was a double XL. And they always say to look for larger sizes as well. So I took an offer of $50 for this one, so I was pretty happy with that. Another little experiment that my wife and I were trying is we were looking at handbags, and she picked out a few nice handbags, and this was a Nicole Lee Gitana Paris sort of handbag. This one didn't come with the shoulder strap, and I disclosed that in description. I had quite a few watchers on this and ended up selling it to somebody for $60. And the woman wrote me a really nice note, and I guess she had one of these at some point in time, and it ended up getting stolen. So she was pretty happy with this, and I was pretty happy to get the feedback from her. Here's another little experiment. I've never really considered looking at children's clothing, but this was a high-end brand, Burberry, London. Has the trademark plaid on the collar, and then the lining of the zipper. Winter's coming, or actually fall and then winter is coming, so this one it was in really nice condition, so ended up taking an offer of $29.95 for this little guy, so ended up going with that, so I was pretty happy. If you watched my last sales video, I talked about the box of car parts that I got from a garage sale, and paid $40 for this huge box of little tiny parts, and I didn't even know what most of these things were until I started typing in the serial numbers. And I have like a whole bag of these little sensors for a Prius, a sensor for air temperature, and these are selling consistently for $24.95. So far I've sold 5 of them, and I still have a bunch available. I don't list all the quantity of all of them, because I'm still trying to get that quantity that eBay allows you to sell up, so I kind of limit that. And of course, we all know that anything Harley Davidson usually sells. This is just a normal backpack, nylon, Cordura. It had like a nice helmet compartment in the front, and anyways, ended up having this for like 3 weeks, and I took an offer of $50, so I was pretty happy with that. It looks like it's in brand new condition. This is a normal backpack, and it just happened to have the Harley Davidson logo stitched onto it. It's like kind of a plasticky rubber type logo. Next, another Keen card. You've seen plenty of these. Here's yet another. This one was really popular for me. And here's another. I try to stay away from Ralph Lauren Polo just because there's so many of them, and they usually don't sell for that much. But this one was like a double XL size, so I think that helped it. And also it was kind of an interesting stripy pattern. So anyways, I ended up taking an offer for $19.95 for that one. It was a nice little flip. I think I paid like three something for it. I always seem to do well at church sales. I always have good luck. And anyways, I ended up finding a trash bag full of these trucker snapback hats, and I keep hearing about these. And I listed a bunch of them, but I found out only the ones that are vintage and they have like a really nice patch, like this one, the Olympia beer, sell. This one ended up selling the first time around. I took an offer. The person did not pay and ended up opening a case. And anyways, long story short, relisted it and it sold immediately. So I took an offer of $24.95, and I was pretty happy with that. Alright, the two big, they call them come-ups of the month. This was a pet carrier slash travel bag that you put your small dog or cat in, and this was I found this at a Goodwill, and it was in really good condition. I didn't know the brand. Apparently everybody and their mother knows what Juicy Couture the brand is, and I didn't know, but this thing jumped out at me, and it was like, wow, this is like really crazy and off the hook here. So anyways, I picked this bag up for $6 at a Goodwill. Had tons and tons of watchers. And finally, I ended up taking an offer. You always get the lowball offers. I was getting like $60 offers consistently. Finally, somebody offered me $100 for it. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. That's a pretty good return on my investment. So I guess the thing to learn is be on the lookout for big name brands like Juicy Couture, as well as the combination of it being a pet carrier, and people love their pets, as we all know. So I've got plenty of those at home. Here's another one. I learned this about these big giant Hug Fun teddy bears from a Facebook thrifting group, and I thought, gosh, that can't be true. I ended up finding one like a few weeks after I saw it on Facebook, on the Facebook group, and I listed it for $100, and this bear ended up selling within the first month for $100. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I ended up taking an offer of 85, and as when you take offers, the buyer doesn't always have to pay right away. So once the buyer, I think they found out the shipping costs from here, California to New York, they decided they weren't going to pay, they weren't going to contact me or anything like that. So long story short, ended up opening up a case just to get it released so I can relist it. I relisted it, I lowered the price a little bit because this thing was taking up so much room in my bedroom, sitting out in the corner. I didn't want it to collect dust and everything, and so I ended up putting it in a big giant couple of trash bags. Anyways, finally ended up selling it to somebody in up north in Canada, and they paid $82.95, plus they paid the shipping, plus they paid import fees. So they ended up paying quite a bit for this big bear. So I'll never doubt when a Facebook group person says to be on the lookout for an item. Um, you know, this is a great little. I guess this would be nice for a newborn's nursery, just for the look of it. It's, to me, it's nothing special, but apparently people like these things. Anyway, moving on. Another little experiment that we're trying to get into is looking at backpacks and duffel bags. This was a I'm sorry, not Salvation Army, St. Vincent de Paul thrift store find. This was $3, and it helped that it was new with tags. And it's just a plain old backpack, but the selling point on the tag says it's checkpoint friendly for airport, and travel use. So I think that's what helped it sell, and it sold for $29.95. And they paid the shipping, so I was pretty happy with that. This is kind of a funny little story. I've had this shirt for like 7 months, 8 months, and it was I picked it up at a thrift store for barely anything, like $2. But anyways, it's Paul Smith of London, and I think this type of polo shirt tries to be like the Burberry shirts, and they put like the nice little interesting pattern on the inside of the I guess the collar, um, and this was a shirt. It's listed as double XL, but when I measured it, it measures more like a large. So I listed that in the description. Excuse my photos. This was when I was first starting out, and that kind of blurry. The lighting wasn't great, but anyways, and also, as you can see, this was missing a button. I thought, well, if somebody knows how to sew, they can remove the top button, which most people don't, button, and put it in the middle. Anyways, long story short, I ended up selling it for $29.95. I was pretty happy with that. So, and last but not least, if you watched the last video, I talked about picking up a pair of these heavy metal, death metal T-shirts, and when I first picked them up, I thought, gosh, I've never heard of this band. Um, you know, these probably won't sell, but I'll take a chance because they were only 99 cents a piece. So ended up finally selling the second one a month later, and actually I took an offer on this of $14.95, and it's one of those things where I'm still waiting for the payment. But anyways, hopefully I'll get the payment soon, and just don't sell yourself short. If you see something unusual that you think, nobody's gonna buy that thing, it's kind of scary looking actually to me, but people ended up buying them, and that was another experiment. So anyways, guys, I hope this helped you with different brands and different, trying to diversify what you thrift and resell. It's all an experiment to me, and I learned from other YouTubers, other, you know, forums and on Facebook and podcasts. And I hope I helped somebody. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And till next time, I'll hope everybody has a great thrifting couple of weeks. Thanks. Bye bye.